Greetings and welcome to The Bridge, the TV show that features happenings around the Woodbridge Township School District. I'm your host, Darren Soretto. In this episode, we will be exploring the Going Green initiatives in the school district. Today in the studio, we have Supervisor of Science, Mr. Mike Atsby, and Colonia High School science teacher, Chantel Greffer, to discuss the Going Green initiatives throughout the school district. Our feature will take us to Menlo Park Terrace School to learn about their food sharing program. In sports, we'll highlight Colonia High School's boys basketball champions. And finally, our music segment will feature the District Honors Band. Now, before we welcome our first guest, let's take a look at the artwork we're featuring here on our set. Our first piece was submitted by art teacher Katie Tarikian and created by Joseph Stevenson, fourth grader. It's titled Rainbow Fish. To create this piece, students studied the art form called Zentangle, which is the creation of a series of structured patterns and designs. Students learned how to brainstorm and plan out their work and used various elements of art to create their works, such as line, color, shape, and value. This student was inspired by the book Rainbow Fish. As we talk about going green today, I think it's so important to remember the beautiful parts of our world worth admiring and conserving, such as our aquatic creatures and other animals. Joseph has certainly created a beautiful fish in his Zentangle here. The second art piece featured today is submitted by art teacher Kimberly Zadigan from Woodbridge High School and was created by Delamar Mondragon, a 9th grade artist from Woodbridge High School. Students created collages of animals using recycled scraps of magazine and newspaper. Students learned how to map an image using tints, tones, and shades, then how to create stencils and fill in stencils with found colors. I love that this piece depicts a beautiful and powerful animal in our natural world and also makes use of recycled techniques, an earth-friendly practice. Plus, the eyes and mouth really seem to make this collage come alive. Great job, Joseph and Delamar. Remember, be creative and submit your own artwork to the Bridge through your art teacher. Your work could be featured on our next episode. Now let's welcome Supervisor Mike Atsby and science teacher Chantel Greffer. Welcome, Mr. Atsby, Ms. Greffer. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us today.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
No, absolutely. So let's start with you, Mr. Atsby. Tell us a little bit about your experience in education and the scope of your current position here in our school district.
All right, sure. So it started a long time ago. So I went to Rutgers College. I went through the 5-year program there. I got my master's in education with a concentration in biological sciences. I originally started teaching at Union Senior High School in Union Township.
Sure.
I taught biology, geophysics. I did a little physics. I did engineering, tech ed. I taught a lot there.
A lot of science.
Yeah, a lot of science, and I like new challenges, so I like to pick up whatever's given to me.
Okay.
Then I came to Colonia High School where I met Ms. Greffer.
Great team.
Yeah, absolutely. As the department head for science and social studies.
Okay.
I also taught biology and environmental science there. And this past July, I'm now the supervisor of science, health, phys ed, middle school sports, about 50 other things.
Wow.
It keeps me busy.
That's great.
I enjoy it. And, it's nice to get to go around to the schools, see what they're doing with, going green.
Sure.
Everything we're going to talk about today.
Great.
It's been a fantastic experience.
Excellent. Tell us a little about yourself, Ms.
Yes,
Greffer.
so I didn't start out in education. I actually wanted to go to veterinary school.
Oh, really?
Worked as a technician for a number of years.
Okay.
And then I applied to veterinary school but didn't get in.
Oh.
So I wasn't sure what direction my life was going to go in.
Right.
Took one of those, competency tests to see what I was best at right here at Avenel Middle School.
Okay.
On the way out, I met my former high school English teacher, Mr. Bells.
Really?
He said, asked me, what are you doing here? And I told him, and we had a 45-minute conversation. I will spare you all the details. But at the end of that 45 minutes, because he suggested, he says, why don't you go into education?
Okay.
I said I could never get up in front of a group of people to speak. And I confessed to him that when I was in his class in high school, there were many times that I faked having a sore throat so I wouldn't have to say anything. I was that, how when you sit in the circle and you want to say.
Yes.
So he forgave me for that. And he said, okay, well, if you go into teaching, what would you teach? And immediately came to mind was my high school biology teacher, whom the track at Woodbridge High School is named after.
Yeah.
And I said, he just, I guess cultivated that interest in science such that that's what I was going to do. I was so excited after that 45-minute conversation. I went to my boss at the veterinary hospital and gave him my notice.
Okay.
Went back, got my teaching certification, and the rest is history. So I've been
great.
science teacher at Colony High School for 36 years.
That's beautiful. Isn't it amazing how teachers have such an influence on us, give us that
For
inspiration,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
to do
and I
something.
thank them because Mr. Bell's lived
Yeah.
in town. Every time I saw him, I thanked him for that, because I don't know if I would have chosen that path necessarily.
Right.
And
And you did.
so glad that I did.
That's awesome. So going green, what does that mean, and why is it such a relevant topic today?
So I think going green to me is something we should have been doing all along, but now we've actually assigned a name to it.
Right.
What it all comes down to really is sustainability
Sure.
and taking what you need but leaving enough for the next generation.
Great.
And I think the township as well is on board with that. With
Yes.
Sustainable Jersey for schools, Sustainable Jersey for the township.
Right.
Township has won many awards for that, their efforts in that
Yes.
area.
Yes.
And that's what we need to think of.
Absolutely. I know the mayor's very
at the top of our mind.
It's very important for him. Yeah. Anything else, Rebecca?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I just to echo that, it's it's something that I feel like has always been there, and we've always like, oh, we probably should have been doing this, but now we're finally, not finally, but jumping in, with both feet,
Yeah.
and going toward this with these new initiatives as a school district, as a township. As Ms.
Sure.
Reffer said, it's a bright future.
Absolutely.
We got ahead of us.
Looking ahead for our future. That's great. So how has Woodbridge Township been addressing environmental issues in the past few years?
Yeah, so I mean, we our schools have had we have a lot of schools, right? So we have 24 schools. Everyone has their little projects that
Yes.
they've been working on. So just to highlight a few of them, the big push in the township has been introducing rain gardens.
Great.
Now, for those of you who don't know, rain gardens will collect rainwater and keep it in the same general area. It will get out of the normally they'll go into storm drains or into local waterways and stuff
Sure.
like that. So it keeps a lot of that stuff out, keeps the runoff out. And Woodbridge Township, the ground is very full of clay, which does not drain very well.
Yes.
So it also helps control flooding and
Okay.
things like that. So it's fantastic. We have a number of projects at the schools.
Great.
A few more we have 3 more that are in the works now
Excellent.
that haven't been implemented yet, and throughout the township has been fantastic.
You get to see them all, right? You get to go
Yeah,
visit
no,
them,
and
right?
that's the great
Yeah.
part about this new position is I get to be involved with all of them.
That's great.
I was only involved with Ms. Greffert, which was lovely.
Yeah.
At Colonia High School with ours, which she'll talk about a little
Right,
later on,
sure.
I think. But now to see the rest of them put in, that's been great. Let's see, a couple other things we've been working on at school number 1, Malby Street. Principal Mr. Panko,
Sure.
Ms. Ty, they did a fantastic book swap the other day.
What's that about?
So that was students who had books that they read or they outgrew.
Right.
In elementary school, their
Right.
reading levels. They donated back to the school.
Okay.
And they held kind of like a book fair. So if you donated books, you would get tickets,
Yeah.
and then you use those tickets to purchase new books.
Great.
And this was a great way for them to reuse, these things that people aren't really thinking about recycling books
Yes.
other than throwing them in the recycling bin.
Right.
But they get to be reread, enjoyed by new students, new families, and that was a really, really nice program that they ran.
How many books sit on bookshelves, right? And they just collect dust,
Yeah,
right?
all they're doing is collecting
Start
dust.
moving them, right?
Yeah,
That's great.
Absolutely right. We have at Avenel Middle School, they created the Energy Avengers.
Oh, what's that?
It's a group of students and teachers with Principal Mr. Lucen and Ms. Wyman, the teacher.
Okay.
They, went around educating on not wasting energy, not wasting electricity.
Sure.
Talking about shutting off lights and
Okay.
changing different,
Right.
different things of that nature.
Being a superhero?
Absolutely, being
Right.
superheroes. So that
Okay.
was their background. Avengers, like Marvel Avengers. That was the theme that they took
love
on,
it.
which
That's
was
great.
great. Colonia Middle School, they've done a ton of stuff this year.
Really?
Just to name a
Yeah,
couple.
okay.
They just got a greenhouse,
Excellent.
which is fantastic. They've been working on. They did a huge waste audit to see what kind of waste they have and how they can reduce that. Same thing, energy audit, similar to Avenel.
Okay.
That's Mr. Short and Mr. Shanker
Excellent.
over there leading the way.
Great.
So we got
There's a lot
some
going on.
really,
That's
really cool
awesome.
things
I
that are
love
going
it.
on at our schools. No, it's very exciting.
That's
a nice
really
green future
exciting.
we got ahead of us.
I love it. And Ms. Greffer, I've noticed that students are disposing of items a little bit differently in the cafeteria. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Yes, sure. So they, through the township of Woodbridge, they have a collection program where they collect the food waste.
Okay.
And it goes to a plant in Linden
Okay.
that incinerates that and converts that to natural gas.
Oh, that's great.
So instead of it ending up in the landfill.
Yes. That's
so
wonderful.
That's, and I'm sure they collect a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah,
collect a lot of
unfortunately, there is a
waste,
lot
right.
of waste, right? And it's a little bit later in the show, we'll see how they can reduce that waste. But it's good to hear that it's going in a good place.
Right.
And reused. Great. And so, can you tell us about some specific projects at Colonia High School
Yes.
that are going on?
For about 8 years now, we've been involved with the Trex Challenge,
Okay, what's
which
that?
the company that makes the composite lumber
Yes.
that you may have your deck made out of.
Yes, right.
And this year they changed it up a little bit, that if you collect 1,000 pounds of plastic,
Okay.
you then get a bench for your school made out of Trex.
Oh, that's great.
So we only have about 300 pounds right now, so if anybody's willing to donate,
Okay, this
we'd
is a
like
little
to. We have
PSA.
till
Here
the
we
end
go.
of the
Let's get it
school
out
year
there. Yeah.
to get that.
Okay.
Then Rubicon started a program just a few years back, this Trash to Treasure. It usually pops up a little bit before Halloween
Okay.
with the effort to collect the candy wrappers.
Oh, yeah.
We send it back to them at no cost, and they make them into other things.
Really?
they
So
get
all candy
upcycled.
wrappers, you
All
mean?
candy
Okay.
wrappers. This year they just added Valentine's Day, and they were going to add another. We just
Halloween.
participated in the Halloween one.
Oh, okay,
All
great.
right. Then the Planet Green Inkjet Recycling, that's a company that refills empty inkjet cartridges
Yes.
and then sells them at a reduced price.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we get, and the, well, not the first two, but this one for sure actually earned some money for the Ecology Club
Okay.
by doing that.
Great.
As well as the last one, which is TerraCycle. And it's a company located near Trenton.
Okay.
They collect things from businesses, from schools, things that aren't typically recycled in a town.
Okay.
They actually break it down. Well, they sort them first into the different plastics, like the number 5, number 4.
Right.
And then they break them down into pellets.
Okay.
And then sell them to companies that then use it to make other things.
That's so
And
great.
TerraCycle themselves also have a website where they've made some of their plastic into things like flower pots and composting bins and things
Sure.
like that you could purchase right from their website. So we have over the years collected over 3,500 pounds of different things. So we're talking about
a lot.
anything from Entenmann's little bite packages
Yeah.
to toothpaste tubes and all sorts of things that normally wouldn't get recycled. They at
Right.
least get reused.
Wow.
Anything to keep it out of the landfill.
Well, plastic is such an issue, right, today? I mean, there's so much waste, and to hear that it's being reused
Right.
is so great to hear.
And they're meeting in Canada now to try to come up with an update to the treaty for, I don't know how many countries are in attendance, but who do we put the ownership on?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
consumers, the manufacturers,
Sure.
or it should be everybody's effort,
That's it.
really.
We want to get it out of the oceans, out of the rainforest, everywhere. There's so much plastic. That's great. Anything else? I mean, there's so much going on. Is there anything else
Well, the
specifically?
rain gardens, which we have,
Rain
we have
gardens,
4, and
yes,
that was an effort between the township and Mr. Aspie received a grant for that.
Okay.
And once they're in, fairly easy to maintain. We have to weed. The Ecology Club will be doing that next week.
Okay.
Weeding, replacing any plants that have lied. But I think it makes a big difference.
I love it. That's great.
Trying to think what else.
Are the kids excited about it? Like, do they really get involved?
They
You see it?
learn
yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
bit too.
Oh, yeah.
These things they never knew
Yeah.
possible, and what they can do in maybe in a scaled down fashion at their
Right.
home
Yeah.
to get the families involved.
Exactly. The awareness, right, is the key.
That's the biggest thing.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. I mean, you guys are making our future look bright, and you're helping our children to understand the value of looking to the future and taking care of our earth. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we are going to Menlo Park Terrace School to learn more about food sharing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks for coming back to the bridge. Now it's time for our school feature, and we are tossing it over to our student correspondent from Colonia High School, Sophia Sokolow, who is on site at Menlo Park Terrace School.
Thank you, Mrs. Soretto. I'm here at School 19 with Miss T and Miss Amiano, and we're here to learn more about your food program. So what program do you have here at School 19?
We call it We Feed MPT 19, and it's a program where we save our breakfasts and we save food and we get food donated from Be the Change and from We Feed Woodbridge, and we give back to our community by feeding 13 families twice a week in our building.
That's amazing. So who's responsible for running this program?
So Mrs. T and I started this 10 years ago. It began in the classrooms when children didn't want what they wanted for breakfast. They would leave it on the classroom table, and then it would also go into the lunchroom where the cheese sticks were left over and things like that. And the children who didn't have enough lunch or anything, they would take from the table and they would eat. And we started to call it a sharing table, and that's where it took off from there.
Wow, that's great. So how often is this done?
We do it twice a week. Mrs. T is going to talk about the boxes.
Well, the sharing table's done pretty much every day, but it's no longer a sharing table right now. Instead of bringing it into the classrooms, the kids take it out of the classroom, and we have set up stations in each hallway, and the kids take their items from the classroom that they don't want or don't feel like eating that morning, and they put it in a bucket, and they sort it. You'll see later, as you know, you'll take a little tour in our hallways, and the bucket gets put where the items they don't want. Those items get eventually brought down to our room, and then, so daily, it's happening daily. Every day we do that.
That's great. So we heard about your mini food pantry. So can you tell us about that?
So the mini food pantries, I was talking to Mrs. T during the pandemic, and she had a friend from Colonia that had a mini food pantry that she filled near the Woodbridge Health Center.
Kelly
Cazzola. And so she was on a three-way call with me, and she told me that it's the old, like the library boxes that you put books in. I wanted it just a little bit taller so we could fit a whole box of cereal underneath it. I reached out to Mayor McCormick, and Mayor McCormick has, we have 3 boxes for We Feed 19, and we have 1 box which is located on school property. We have another box that's located by the VFW on New Brunswick Avenue, and we have our 3rd box that is in Sunnyview Oval apartment development in Keysby. And that is filled by me on a regular basis. I get food from We Feed Woodbridge. I also get food from Be the Change. We also have donations from the Our Lady of Peace, Knights of Columbus, the Columbiettes, teams, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, confirmation hours, and different people go and put the food in. That's for the community. The stuff that we do here is for our own students.
So how do you find these students that you send the food to?
Well, we have there's a few ways that we find it. Usually we find it from our guidance counselor. If someone has reached out and said, we're having food insecurity issues, can you please give us a little extra something? We also find out from classroom teachers.
Classroom teachers. Sometimes it's conversations. The teacher may have a conversation with a parent and find out that they may be struggling or have a, situation at home where they're struggling to make ends meet with meals.
They just sometimes it's there's somebody's out sick, there's a divorce, somebody had to move and they don't have. So we reach out. The guidance counselor, Mrs. Volpe, reaches out to the parents, and we get permission before we do anything. We have bags here. We have bags that were donated by the Ford's Firehouse. We have bags that were donated by the Wegmans or ShopRite or anybody like that, and that's how we fill our bags, is through donations.
So how long did it take you guys to come up with this idea?
Well, it's kind of evolved. It started 10 years ago.
It did, and it was very small. And then I started reading different articles about how people were so food insecure because of them not being able to get food during the pandemic. And that's when we really reached out to each other, and we started the wheels turning.
And combined with the fact that we would pass the garbage cans and see so much food being wasted, sealed, muffins and things that could certainly go to someone who could use it as opposed to filling up the garbage can. So it was kind of a combination of things, the food insecurity, recognizing that there were people in our school here that were suffering and couldn't quite make ends meet.
Was it always this way, or has things evolved with the way you did it? Or
yeah,
it's
changed.
Well, 10 years. There's been a lot of changes. Yes, so it changes all the time. And Be the Change just started 2 years ago, giving us food, and so did We Feed Woodbridge. Just started a few years ago. Plus, we do our own food drives. We have the soup for the Super Bowl. We have a lot of different canned good drives, and then we keep in house. We feed our own.
And actually, this year was the first year we really put these pods or sections in our hallways so that we're kind of helping the children be a little bit more involved and accountable for sorting it at each hallway.
Yeah, that sounds a lot more helpful. It does still sound like a lot of work. Do you have other members a part of this group and program?
Katie Dowd.
Yeah. Katie Dowd. And the
helps us.
teachers, of
And the
course,
teachers
you know,
also.
they're making sure things are coming out of their classroom and get put in the bins. And then, yeah, we're kind of like rolling around the school real fast to...
We also have teachers whose sons are in Boy Scouts, whose daughters are in Girl Scouts, and they'll do a sleepover trip, and they'll say, I have all these leftover Entenmann's,
so
I have
what
this
we take-
bread, what
yeah.
could we do? And then they bring it in. But it's also, what I really like to see is that we also have the bin outside our mini food pantry, is kids walking to school with bags that they help empty the
fill it.
pantry, and they fill it. And then they'll come in and tell us, I put cereal in there today, I put macaroni and cheese in there. And to have the kids involved, they're so involved with it.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I bet it makes the kids feel like they're really doing something for their community. Would it be safe to say that this is also a student-involved program?
Totally.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The students, and you know, especially we're right in the kindergarten hallway, and you would think, you know, the younger ones wouldn't. They're so funny coming down the hallway with their, you know, with the leftovers and making sure it goes in the right bin, and you know, they're very proud of what they're doing.
Or they'll be like, where do the apples go again?
Yeah, they're checking all the time. Yes.
And they go back out.
Well, I mean, this is all great. I loved hearing about it. Do you guys have any advice to other schools that would want to begin a program like this?
I think you should start small
Yeah,
with a shared
definitely.
table before you move into getting other organizations involved. But it's very easy for the shared table to do it. And the kids really are a part of it. And the children, if your mother forgets to put a snack in, it's not like, you know, you can go get a snack from the
Yes.
back table. You could get, and the kids also like being able to share what they're not eating or not using, and it makes them feel good that they can do it. I also think that having other organizations like the high schools and the middle schools, their teams also could be donating to boxes. You could be doing canned goods as well. And to the both of us, to have food thrown away is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking. And to have children be hungry on the weekends, and that's what started it. I had read about a program in Las Vegas where they fill backpacks every Friday, and that goes home so the children have food through the weekend, and then they do this, what we do during the week. So we took it a step further because we were only feeding once a week, and then we took it to the weekends.
Decided to do twice a week. So we have little acts of kindness every day in our building.
And the kids love it.
feel it. You know, they know it.
And that's a good thing. And I'm really happy that I was able to learn about this with you guys today. Thank you so much.
We're happy to have you here and
Thank
show
you
you
so
what we're
much.
doing.
Thank you. Do you mind showing us your next steps and how you run this system?
Sure, we can. Miss Dowd would love to take you on a tour around the building.
Yeah, she'll show you the hallways and how the sorting gets done out there. And then, of course, our classroom has, you know, a sorting system as well. So.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm Joey Torres, and today I'm here with.
Ms. Dowd.
And do you mind telling us a little bit about the program here at your school?
So our program is called We Feed MPT 19 here at Menlo Park Terrace School. We use our leftover breakfast foods that the kids don't eat in the morning. We save them. We also get food donations from outside, and we give those twice a week. We give bags to 13 of our families to take home twice a week to feed their families, for families who are experiencing food insecurity.
That's very nice of you guys, honestly. What do you guys do in the morning? Like, what's the preparation for it?
So every morning we have students who get free breakfast delivered to their class, but sometimes they'll eat the crackers and they won't eat their apples, or they'll eat their cereal and some of it will be left over. So instead of all of that leftovers being thrown in the trash, we save them. There are bins in each of our hallways. The students know that whatever is left over that's still wrapped up, unopened, that can be saved, non-perishables. They take them out to the bins in the hallway, and then we collect them later on in Mrs. Treewasser and Mrs. Amiano's classroom. They collect them, and we put them into bags twice a week, usually on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Okay. And do you guys carry any refrigerated food?
So sometimes there's sliced apples that we'll want to save, and we have a mini refrigerator in our teacher's room where we save some of that stuff. But mostly it's non-perishables.
Okay, okay. Would you mind showing us where some of those are in the school?
I would love to.
All right, lead the way. So what can you tell me about this station?
So here in this bin, we have our refrigerated items. So things like the apple slices and milk cartons. Students who have leftovers will bring them and drop them off here. And then in the middle shelf here, these are items that don't need to be refrigerated. So we'll get things like the graham crackers and their, breakfast cereal bars and things like that. And then we have whole apples that don't need to be refrigerated. So those things go in this box, and then refrigerated items up here.
How many of these do you have around the school?
There's one in each wing, so 4.
4, okay. And it says here food pickups at 9:25. Where does the food go from here?
So that's the food that needs to be refrigerated, so it's not sitting out here for too long. Our Pomptonian cafeteria workers, they'll come and pick this up and bring it back to the cafeteria to be refrigerated so that it doesn't go bad.
Now be honest with me, do you ever take food from here to eat?
On a day when I'm really hungry, yeah, I'll take an apple.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I wish the high school had this. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and it's great that some of the students do that as well. If they, we have younger kindergarten, first grade students, and sometimes the day is long and they need a little cracker, a little snack to give them a little boost of energy. So we always let students who are hungry take food if they need it.
I also feel like this could build like community in the school as well, like everyone's pitching in. Do you think so too?
Absolutely, because the students are really, they're so responsible. Like if I have leftover breakfast in my room and I forget to send somebody to bring it out, I'll have a student raise their hand and say, Ms. Dowd, can I bring out the extra breakfast? They're very responsible and caring about their classmates in that way.
That's so cute, I love that. I actually
Yeah.
love that. But I heard before that you guys had carts for the community. Where do you guys keep those?
So we have out in the parking lot, the entrance to our school, there is a box. Like, have you seen those mini libraries where you take a book, leave a book? So we have one of those boxes that is just for food. So community members will come and donate food to leave in there. Students in our school, when they're walking here in the morning, they'll stop by and leave something in there. And then anybody in the community can take food from there as well.
Would you like to show us where those are?
I would love to. Well, let's go.
So what can you tell us about this?
So in this box, we have non-perishable food items. A lot of them are donated by community members. Some are donated from students in our school or teachers in our school. If we have a food drive here in school, sometimes we'll keep things to make sure that these boxes are stacked. We have, cans and cans of vegetables, peanut butter and jelly, pancake mix, macaroni and cheese, all kinds of foods like that. And anybody in the community can come and take what they need.
I'm not even gonna lie, I think I might take the pancake mix.
Go for
I
it.
might have to. Do you think that every school, elementary school, middle school, and high school should have community containers like this?
There are people who are food insecure in all parts of our community. So yes, these boxes should be accessible for everyone in our community.
I agree. Definitely if I see these around, I would go and fill them up.
And we have a lot of students here who do that. We'll see them walking in the morning and dropping off a box of macaroni and cheese. It's really great.
Parents as well?
Parents as well.
Well, do you think it's okay if we could speak to a few of your students?
Yeah, I'm sure they would love that.
Awesome. Hey guys, wait. What are your guys' names?
Mine is Michaela.
Michaela, and what's yours?
Dylan.
Dylan, how'd you guys find out about this program?
It's our morning routine.
Really? Oh, that's cute. And how often do you donate food here?
Like every day.
Every day? And what about you?
Most of the time, yeah.
What food do you guys donate here?
Cans, maybe like beans, mac and cheese, stuff like that.
Anything else? No? How does it make you feel that you get to help your community?
It makes me feel really good.
Really good. What about you?
Happy.
Happy? You guys are superstars. Thank you so much. Give me some. Give me some. Thanks. Back to you, Mr. Serrato.
Great job, Sophia and Joey. I love how those teachers saw a problem and really found a way to solve it with the help of their students. And it's amazing how the program has grown to include the whole school as well as partner organizations. I hope you are all inspired to see how deciding to take even a small action can motivate others to grow into a program with huge impact. Thanks for coming back to the Bridge, just in time for sports. Today we are highlighting the Colonia High School boys basketball team with our student sports correspondent, Dylan Maltez, also from Colonia High School. Over to you, Dylan.
Thank you, Mr. Serrato. I'm here with who else but the four-time states champion and coach of the year, Jose Rodriguez, with Jaden Jones, Aiden Durkak, Matt McSorley, and James Corrett. How are you guys all doing?
Good, fantastic. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So let's get started. First off, for you, Coach, now that the season is finally over, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy in the off-season?
Yeah, I've just been, trying to rest a little bit. Basketball season's a long season, a long winter, so just resting up and spending some time with family, and also gearing up and preparing for the 2024-25 season as well.
That's great. So now another season is in the books. What do you enjoy most about coaching?
What I enjoy most, and the reason why I got into coaching is really to help develop young men. So it's I take extreme pride in watching them evolve over time and watching them as they grow and they develop and prepare for life after high school and life after basketball.
That's good that you try to give your players lessons, but how do you learn your lessons as a coach?
Well, on a daily basis, and we instill this with our players, but reflecting daily on practices, reflecting daily through watching film, and also at the end of the season, even when you have a successful season, there's still so many things that you can learn from competitive coaches and competitive players. We may have won, but we lost 9 games, so you try to go back and learn from some of those mistakes as well to better prepare yourself for the following season.
And as for that, how do you plan on improving from year to year?
Well, the big focus for us is, trying to spend time with skill development and improving in the off season. Primarily the summer is an extremely important time for us to develop. So a combination of, what we do in the summertime, we play a lot of games and spend a lot of time in the gym developing our skills, and then transitioning into, the fall, a lot of weight room, physically trying to improve ourselves, to prepare for some of those more, top tier teams within the state.
This team had a lot of mix of young players, sophomores, and it also had a lot of veterans. So how do you think these impact of these seniors will be missed?
It'll be greatly missed. We have seniors that have been with our program that, they have been, the backbone of our success. And, we attribute a lot of our success to what they have done, not just this year, but, the sacrifice they made over the course of their career. So, but I think they would tell you that the same way they were in a similar position and they had to fill a void, and we just have to now, take advantage of what they gave to the program, and hopefully they left their mark for young players to now follow in their footsteps.
And since we're on the topic of seniors, let's start with you guys. How would you reflect on your 4 years as a whole? We'll start with you, James.
Me, I've came over, so I've only been here for 2 years, but, it was a different experience. It was a lot of work, a lot of pride in what we do here, and, just trying to be the best that we can be every single day is what led us to being as good as we were.
I think coming in as a freshman, seeing all the seniors and upperclassmen play, it was like a whole different game. But I think throughout the years, with all the great coaching and all my great teammates, it helped me improve each day.
Definitely the past 4 years. I started out on JV as a freshman, so I was practicing with the varsity guys, and that year they had a great team with Aiden's older brother Jordan. You had Savon, who was on the team, Noah, Ruben, Malik, bunch of guys, Mo. So I was really thrown into the fire, and you could ask Coach, I definitely wasn't ready. So I think just having the culture that we have here, where the younger guys look up to the older guys, and the older guys don't have they have a sense of, they know that they have to take care of the younger guys. So I think just building that culture here really helped me improve and become a better player, because I got to look up to the older guys as a younger guy. So I know as us three seniors, we definitely tried to do that with the younger guys now. So I think just contributing to everybody's, I guess, personal growth and just being there every step of the way with everybody is how, I guess, the 4 years that we've overcome and grown as people.
It's great that you guys have like a brotherhood. You have a good bond as a team. How do you develop camaraderie among you guys as well?
Yeah, for us, I mean, we like a close-knit group. I mean, camaraderie starts with literally the summer workouts, and then the fall just spending time with each other, practices, and this time in the locker room. Got a lot of great locker room and bus stories, so that's how we kind of grow together, per se.
I mean, I think looking from an outside point of view, it's a whole different view, and seeing that how us teammates and the team we started from the beginning of the summer playing, then fall when everybody was at football games, we were at basketball, fall league games, and we just know that we've been through a lot, and I think it helps us play as a team.
Definitely just spending time with each other. Most of the team, I mean, you can look back at pictures. We've been playing together since we were in the 3rd grade. Even Aiden, he was on the team with us, me, Matt. So just playing together from when we were kids to now, it's kind of like we've all been friends since then. So it's kind of easy to go out there and play and be in a locker room with these guys, because these are your brothers. You have spent a lot of time with these guys. So it's a different kind of bond. And I think that's what separates us from other teams.
And I'll ask you this specifically, Jaden. Would you say you had anything specific that you guys did? Any rituals, anything?
I don't know. We just like to have fun. Even on the bus rides, we'll bring the big speaker and just blast music, and in the locker room just blast music. That was the big thing this year. We knew that we had to take care of business, and we knew that when the game came, we were going to have to lock in and, do our job. But before that and after that, we knew that it was bigger than the game, and we just want to have fun and enjoy spending time with everybody.
And I'll ask the coach this because he'll know this the best. What do you think made this team so successful out of all these years? You guys won a GMC championship and states, so that's a big jump for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a combination of what these guys just referenced, great chemistry. It's important that you have a team that genuinely enjoys spending time with each other. They like each other. They did a fantastic job this year of, fighting through some adversity with each other, which really helps to develop them in a cohesiveness. So that's extremely important. And then, in addition to that, they're talented players. They're very skilled. They sacrifice a lot and spent a lot of time to improve themselves individually and collectively. So, sometimes it's just not a matter of, throwing plays out there and assuming it's going to get done. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes, and these guys had the willingness to be coachable and make a lot of sacrifices to put themselves in a position to, have an historic season here at Colonia.
Vaden, we'll ask you this question. What were you looking to improve on this season, and what was your expectation for the team this season as well?
I think this off-season was a big year just to grow in every aspect of my game, especially shooting. Last year I was playing football, so I couldn't really get in the gym as much. But I think this summer I put in an extraordinary amount of work to succeed in that, and I think that's what helped me the most.
So you think you focusing on basketball really helped?
Yeah, I think once I was over my football era, I think once I focused on basketball, I think that's what really made the jump for me this year.
And I'll ask you this, Matt. If you really had to label it down, what was one thing that you improved on?
Probably my defense, I think. Coming into my high school career, I just like to stay behind three-point line, just shoot, and not really go back on defense. But I think especially with Coach Jarrett and all the other coaches, they harp on defense every day at practice, at game, everything. So I think with defense and hustle and just trying to be a team player to help the team win.
And I guess I'll ask you this, James. Would you say there was a specific turning point in the season that really helped you guys improve and really got you guys motivated?
I think our biggest turning point in the season was actually not a win. It was when we came off of a couple losses and we had to kind of get it together. We played a really rough schedule. We came off like Elizabeth and Hudson Catholic, and it was games that we were on big stages, and we kind of had to come as a team together and say, if we want to be successful and we want to win, we have to change the way that we approach and how hard we come to the games and stuff. And so I say coming off those losses kind of shaped our season, because once we all came together and locked in and everything, that's when you started to see the success flow after that.
And I'll ask you this, Aiden. What are some ways you as a player, because you have 2 more years left, that you can develop with your future teammates in the offseason?
I think I have to really step up as a leader. This year we had James, Matt, and Jay as my leader, and I think I have to play their role in the next 2 years. So players like me this year, in 2 years, I'll be the mentor to me like they were to me. So I think I just really have to harp on leadership.
And speaking of leadership, you coach. It was a big year for you. You were named Coach of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What would you say is your coaching philosophy that helped you win that award?
I mean, first off, when you get recognized and honored with such a prestigious accolade, the reality is it stems from your players. You have to have great players that, again, go out there and they're the ones performing, they're the ones out there winning games. So I know it's nice to receive credit for it, but it's really a testament to the time and effort that these guys put in, and my assistant coaches as well, who every single day help me with preparing these guys. So. But as far as the philosophy is concerned, I really just we try to just foster an environment that's about, work ethic and accountability. They know that I'm big on teaching lessons about, overcoming adversity and resiliency. And I think that these guys did an outstanding job this year. And if it wasn't for them, overcoming some adversity, and as James alluded to, learning from some of those failures, we wouldn't have had the successful season that we had. So it really is a tribute to these guys, and I'm really grateful and thankful to be recognized as that. But the players are ultimately what make it happen.
And I also wanted to ask you specifically, because the difference between this year compared to the last 2 years where you guys went states is that you guys won a tournament before you went to states. So did that change anything?
I think it did. Whenever you get a chance to win on a big stage, I think that definitely, prepares you for the next, for the next step, for the next phase. It also gives you, that taste of winning, and it's something that now you're eager to go out there and perform again. So there's no doubt about it that winning a county championship and enjoying that, celebrating it, but then going back and reflecting also prepared them to make a great state tournament run as well.
And I think that's going to be a wrap. Thank you, all of you guys, for your time. And congratulations on the season you had. You guys had a wonderful year, and it was great covering you guys. And let's look at your highlights.
Great job, Dylan, and congratulations, boys. I think we are looking at a dynasty team in the making, and it's wonderful to see their focus on having fun together and becoming quality young men along the way. Keep up the great work, boys. Now we have to take a quick break, but come right back to learn about the District Honors Band. Welcome back to The Bridge. I'm your host, Darren Soretto. Today, for our music segment, we're listening in on a discussion between our 3 District Honors Band directors.
All right, thank you, Darren. My name's Kevin Perdoni. I'm the band director at Colonia High School. This is our 13th year collaborating with the District Honors Band. It's a group of about 40 musicians from all 3 schools, high schools, and staff from throughout the district, so it's a nice collaboration. And one of the things I like the most about the group is that we get to work with a college professor as a guest conductor most years. So this year we were lucky to have Professor Cooney from Rowan University, which is my alma mater. So it was exciting to get her up here to conduct, to work with the kids. They get to see a new face. They get to see what it's like to be in a high-level ensemble from a college perspective, not only playing the music, but also having the experience of working with that professional conductor. So that's something that I enjoy. And like I said, this is our 13th year, so we've grown. We've grown the group and kind of changed it a little bit over the years to make it better each and every year. And I think this year was no disappointment. It was as good as it's ever been, if not better. The kids did a great job. Mr. Cabrera?
Yeah, so my name is Josh Cabrera. I'm the band director at JFK High School. The group is comprised of high school students from all 3 high schools in Woodbridge Township. They are selected by the directors from those specific high schools, and it's basically the best of the best of the instrumentalists in Woodbridge Township, the best that Woodbridge Township has to offer, and that shows because the students do a great job every year. It's also very exciting for the students because the faculty also participate. You know, we get guest conductors from different colleges from around the state, and so the faculty get to also come and perform with the students as well. That's a great experience for the students to get to kind of sit side by side with maybe their former elementary band director or middle school band director. So that's a lot of fun. The students get to play, you know, higher level music, which is also exciting. And yeah, and overall, it's a very great experience for the students and for the faculty. They get to come back and see how their students have maybe grown over the years.
Hi, I'm Jason Kahn. I'm the director of bands at Woodbridge High School. It was really exciting this year. We, in our concert, played 4 pieces ranging from music of Percy Grainger, which is early wind band literature, up to a piece of music that was written 2 years ago by a very exciting new composer named Kataj Copley. It's really exciting to have such an amazing group of students and faculty and guest artists who are there to perform with us, to give these students an awesome experience. And I'm very, very fortunate to have been part of all 13 of our District Honors Band, and we look forward to having the 14th District Honors Band concert next year. And back to you, Darren.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's see the 2024 District Honors Band performance. Awesome job. It's great to see our teachers and students from all 3 high schools working together in this creative endeavor. Thank you for sharing your work with us. And thank you for watching The Bridge. I'm Darren Soretto, wrapping up this episode of The Bridge, encouraging you all to go green and hoping you'll join us next time.